human rights advocates calling for the release of the American pastor Saeed Abedini. The Christian pastor was imprisoned in Iran in September after government officials convicted him of jeopardizing national security. Abedini occasionally traveled to his native Iran, where he managed an orphanage and, according to some reports, helped Christians in underground churches. Reports now indicate that officials are attempting to force Abedini to deny his Christian faith. Established by the Adventist Church, the IRLA is the latest organization to express support for the pastor. In recent weeks, the U.S. State Department, Congress, and the White House have each called for Abedini's release.
The International Religious Liberty Association has as its core principle to defend the rights of all people to believe or not to believe or to worship as they see fit. As Seventh-day Adventists, we want those same rights because we're a minority religion in many parts of the world, and we want to be able to worship without fear of government interference or persecution. I believe it's our Christian duty to stand for the rights of all people to worship according to their own conscience.
The Adventist Church in the Czech Republic is set to receive $45 million in reparations from the government to be paid over the next 30 years. The payments are meant to compensate the church for property confiscated during the country's former communist regime. Adventist officials in Prague say the regime seized the church's holdings in 1952. The Adventist Church is one of 16 religious organizations that are sharing more than $3 billion in reparations settlements. The gesture comes after the Czech Parliament approved a restitution plan last year. The Czech Prime Minister called the move an act of justice. The country is the last formerly communist nation in Europe to reach a reparations settlement with religious organizations.
The Adventist Church's Kids in Discipleship program has parents and pastors working together to encourage the spiritual growth of children. The program is finding traction in the church's Southern Africa Indian Ocean region. Communication Director Paul Charles sent this report.
The goal of discipleship is to make disciples who can then make disciples, teaching them to observe all that Jesus commanded. Disciples cannot be mass-produced. We cannot drop people into a program and see disciples emerge at the end of a production line. It takes time to make disciples. It takes individual personal attention. Realizing this, leaders from all over Southern Africa converged in Johannesburg to participate in the second part of Kids in Discipleship Ministry training. The Kids in Discipleship Ministry equips church congregations, parents, and key mentors to implement the Deuteronomy 6 model of discipleship that will help foster a family's ability to use their gifts for worship, ministry, and mission. Under the leadership of Mrs. Caroline Chola, this ministry has become intentional.
In discipleship is a ministry that is designed to disciple the children. It helps the parents, the school systems to come up with programs that disciple the children.
The training sessions were facilitated by Pastor Don McLafferty and Jonathan Abrams, who passionately trained leaders and interested participants. Many questions were answered and issues clarified.
It is a ministry and a lifestyle change for mom and dad to disciple their children and live in them.
Hope Channel Poland is the newest member to join the Adventist Church's official television network. Broadcast officials say the launch is a testament to the expansion of media ministry in the country. So far, Hope Channel Poland offers 24/7 online programming, but plans are in place to enter local cable and satellite networks. Church leaders in the country say Hope Channel Poland will help lay groundwork for urban outreach planned for Warsaw in 2014.
Adventists worldwide will observe a day of prayer, remembrance, and recommitment to mission on May 18. The event comes during a year when Adventists are celebrating the church's 150th anniversary. Earlier today, I sat down with Adventist historian David Trim to learn more about plans to observe this emphasis day. Thanks so much for joining us, David.
It's a pleasure.
Why is the church holding a day of prayer on May 18?
Our 150th anniversary, sesquicentenary, is a major anniversary. It doesn't come around every 100 years, quite literally. And it's an anniversary that church leaders the church leaders who founded our church would have hoped would never have come. But at the same time, even while we anniversary, and this is a chance for us to think about the way God has led us. You know, God has done an awful lot in those 150 years, probably despite us as much as because of us, but there's much to give thanks for and to be thoughtful about.
What are church leaders hoping to accomplish on this Emphasis Day?
What we're hoping that will come out, Erica, is that people can indeed pause and reflect on what the church has done so far, but we're also hoping that people will look forward as well as back, and that's why it's a day not only of remembrance, but also recommitment to mission. Our church has been here 150 years, but in some ways we've only just begun. There are still so many people who need to hear the good news of the gospel.